All right. We are here with a new podcast, new episode, new week, new day. Never before heard, never before seen. Melissa, I'm starting this one off with chess. What you have on our notes here? Chess.
Chess.
What is chess?
Kyle,
what is chess?
Chess is a Broadway musical. It's about chess.
I don't think that's how the game is played. Oh, so it's a musical that you went to.
Yes.
You went to, right? Or did you
I went
somehow?
I went to it. I was there. Opening night for this show. First time our local Muni theater has ever done it. This is that musical theater I go to 7 times every summer. The latest show this week was Chess. This is a show I have been waiting for years. Chess is created by Tim Rice and like 2 of the guys from ABBA. And it's set in the 80s, and it is about a Russian chess champion and an American chess champion facing off during the Cold War. I'm going to link you to the Instagram page for this theater, and you can see that like the scrim for the show is just like a big fist with the Russian flag on it and a big fist with the American flag on it, and they're punching each other, but there's a chess piece in the middle. It's big and it's blunt, and I'd been wanting to see the show for ages because the soundtrack was released as like a rock album in the 80s before it was ever released as like it's a Broadway musical, like before they put it into production.
Right.
And so one of the songs from this musical, it's called One Night in Bangkok. It became like a real hit in the 80s, and one of our local radio stations used to play it a lot. And it was, I think, the second song I ever bought on iTunes when I was like 15 years old. I've always loved One Night in Bangkok. I learned it was from this musical. I'm like, I have to see this thing in context. I have to see chess. Finally, the Muni does chess. This is the first time they've ever done chess. I was so excited to be there for opening night. Kyle, are you looking at the stage?
I am, yes.
This thing, as soon as like the scrim opened and you can see the stage, I turn to my friend and I say, this is everything I've ever wanted. It's like they looked into my soul and they're like, what is this lady like? Halt and Catch Fire, $1 billion code, 80s aesthetics. It is on display. Like everything is grids and lasers and wood paneling and stuffy tweed suits. It's the most aesthetically impressive show I've seen at this otherworldly local theater, a local theater that always does top-notch, like Broadway quality shows. I've never seen one that looks like this thing. They have huge banks of TVs. Yeah. At one point, like the characters go, they escape the rigor of the chess tournament and they go into the mountains, and the mountains are like wireframe. They go into renderings of different places. That's what they project on like the huge LED screen at the back of the stage. I was so upset you weren't there to witness this with me.
Interesting. I had no idea what this was when you put it on the thing. I'm like, chess? Is she like, did she want to like start learning how to play chess? What's going on? So no, this was one of the musicals. I think my favorite thing is the 2 fists on the opposite side of the chess piece. So for audio listeners, I brought up the Instagram page, but since I'm not logged into any Instagram, I can't like truly zoom in on all of it without it being like, hey, sign up here. But I can still say them on. Yeah, there's pictures of the stage, these giant TV screens. It almost kind of looks like a Zoom call at first, but it's like old TV like stuff with like the dials on them. Big grids for all the chess theme there, but they have one. It's 2 fists like they're about to punch each other, but there's a chess piece in between them. It's real intense.
Exactly as I said. Yes. And the videos that they are showing on these big like LED screens, those are recorded live. Like you are watching like a live feed. They've got two guys sitting there playing chess. They have a cameraman come up. What's in the camera that's like part of the stage action gets put on the big screen behind them. This
Amazing.
theater has had screens for a couple years now. This is the best they've ever used those screens. During the chess matches, there's these really tight, tense close-ups of just like licking lips and like drumming fingers and like pulling at a tie.
That's cool.
It was true art. This was one of the most transcendent live theater experiences I've ever had.
Huh.
You gotta see chess. Did you know St. Louis is like the chess capital of the United States? Like Congress says so.
I did not.
We're a big chess city. You can see a big chess piece. I don't remember which one. Probably a king or a queen or something, but it's like 14 feet tall.
You just reminded me of something. So shortly after I moved here to Oklahoma, my partner and I went on this date because we wanted to go to a certain ice cream place that we heard was good. We get there, the ice cream place is not what we thought it was. It's kind of like a small little stall that's attached to a restaurant on the side. And it like, we get there, we stand in, there's no one there. There's no one behind the counters. We're the first ones there. We get there. No one comes by. No one comes out from the back to be like, hey, I'll be with you in just a sec. The like waiters for the like actual restaurant part, they see us. They don't say anything of like, hey, no one's here working today, or hey, let me go get them, or whatever the situation is. They see us, just don't say a thing. We're standing there for like 5 minutes just being like, well, this was a bust. We ended up going somewhere else, but in this place where like these restaurants are and stuff like that, they have like this big giant outdoor chess set thing that you can like pick up the pieces and move around. They're not the like 14 feet tall that you just said, but they're maybe just a little bit past my waist. Like they're big, they're good size. But we're walking around that day, and there's these like 5 or 6 kids that are just on this chess board, lifting these things up, swinging them, throwing them. The whole thing surrounds a lake, this like man-made lake. And they started throwing these pieces into the lake, and like the parents are nowhere to be seen. There's no like security that's like, hey, kids, stop that, don't do that, right? They're just having a ball. And yeah, we're just like watching this chess piece like float across the like man-made lake.
Just a pawn bobbing along.
Yeah. Didn't make it. Anyways, welcome to number 243 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson.
Yes.
Melissa, how are you?
I'm good. You let me postpone recording so that I could go to an art fair, and I'd like to show you my
gatherings.
gatherings.
Yeah. Actually,
this
while you
is
do that, I also want to say that I do have a Mtn Dew for us to dive into here. I had one last week too. Oh, I should have this stuff up on the right thing. I'm not up on the right thing. There we go. Baja Passionfruit Punch. Mtn Dew Baja Passionfruit Punch. This is a purple one, if you guys can see it here on screen. It's a good
passion
purple
fruit's
too.
Purple?
I didn't think so, but the one I had last week was pink, and that was like a guava flavor. So I'm wondering if they were like, let's just make it a slightly different. Let's make it
the
purple. Yay!
The actual fruit on the inside is like a bright goldenrod color, but the outer hull it's fuchsia. It's redder than that purple you have there. That's a classic grape color, but purple's involved.
Interesting. Here we go. Here's my first sip of passion fruit punch. That's a good one. That's interesting though, because like I don't know, like I don't know what a passion fruit tastes like.
Yeah.
I've not had one by itself to be like, yes, that's the flavor. They nailed it. But this is good. Very refreshing. I mean, it's basically just tropical punch, but with a passion fruit kick. I don't know. That's it. Please continue, Melissa. I at least had to mention that so I could start.
No, now you can enjoy your beverage and enjoy art, like when you drink wine at a museum. So I went to
swirling my Mountain Dew. Yeah.
What is the terroir of this Mountain Dew? What mountain does it hail from?
Look at the color in the light up against a white background, right?
Hold it against a chart. Tastes oaky. It tastes like grass and citrus fruits. I went to Let Them Eat Art, which is an art fair held in Maplewood every year. It's held roughly around Bastille Day, which is why I forgot until today that this is when the festival was. Because like,
what is Bastille Day?
That's like French Independence Day. That's why it's called Let Them Eat Art, like let them eat cake, I guess.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So you walk around, there's booths, you buy stuff. I usually go. And this year I found something truly special. This is from an artist called Summer Violet. It's Violet with 2 T's.
Okay.
This, for the listener, looks like an old-fashioned, like, botanical, like, educational print you'd find in, like, a textbook, you know? But they're all cartoon flowers and they all look like Simpsons.
Yes, I was about to say that one in the top left looks like Marge. But yeah,
they're all Simpsons. There's like a little like legend down here, like you're looking at a figure in an academic book.
Flores de Springfield.
Yes, that is Marjorium Simpsonus. Yeah, they all have fake Latin names.
That's great.
It's so pretty and funny and so detailed. This was like a thunder strike. I feel so blessed that I found this piece of art. This is exactly what I want all the stuff in my home to be.
Right? That's how I felt when I found that like Gundam manga, The Men Who Made Gundam. I was just like, this is what I've been searching for my whole life. A manga about them making the manga. About them making the show, about them making the toys. I love this. Yeah, that's cool.
I also got some cool stickers from, I think it's Jillian K Art, who I've been to every year. They're there. I go up and they're like, have we drawn you before? Like, yes, you did do one of the 5-minute portraits of me a couple years ago. Thank you. I have a Good Place sticker.
Okay.
There's Eleanor in her Arizona trash bag sash with her shrimp cocktail. Great. I have a Visit Cuscotopia travel sticker. I have, this is so specific. This is another incredible find. I have a good looking guy sticker. Do you remember Good Looking Guy?
From the race? Like
no.
I remember the meme about that jogger who was like the super photogenic
I know him.
guy, right?
Yes.
But this is not that?
No, Good Looking Guy was the older brother on Boy Meets World. He had a fantasy about being a James Bond type spy, and he was just called Good Looking Guy. I found a sticker of him. Like this.
Great.
I don't think this was recurring. This was a bit in one episode of Boy Meets World that I still think about all the time. And Jillian K made a sticker of it that I can have.
I've seen a lot of Boy Meets World. Like that's one of the shows I grew up on. I say consistently, I was not a Disney kid Like I stuck to Cartoon Network. Boy Meets World was like the only one that I'd be like, but that's on. Like, let me go watch that
Yeah.
instead, right? But I don't remember Good Looking Guy.
Like I said, I think that was one episode. I'm so delighted to find a sticker that celebrates a single episode.
That's awesome, though. That's
Good
fun.
finds.
That's
Good
fun.
finds all around. Also,
Yeah.
there was a popcorn store, so I'm just wandering around like a big buffoon eating my popcorn, the number one buffoon food.
There you go. Eat your heart out, Ignacio. All types of popcorn at the store. All sorts of stuff. Oh man, that's cool. So what was the movie that you went to? Some like I don't remember if it was this like art fair thing last year or if it was something else, but you got a recommendation, a movie recommendation from someone. Was it at this art theater?
Yes, yes, it was at this
year?
art fair last year. I think the artist's name was Maxine13. I didn't see them again this year.
That sounds familiar.
But they did a bunch of classic Hollywood portraits, and one was
right.
of Vincent Price. I'm like, what Vincent Price movies do you recommend? And that's how we
Now I
watched
remember.
The Abominable Dr. Phibes on the review
Yes,
show. I
now I
wanted to
remember.
thank them, but I didn't see them.
Yeah, I'd be like, here's our episode. We covered it just for you. Good. That's fun. That's fun.
Art is fun.
It sure is. That's what I did most of my life.
Right. When was the last time you did an art?
Depends on what you call
art. Art for recreation, not like you made a new graphic for the podcast or something, or you did something for work. What was your last recreational art project?
I don't know about just like recreational. I know off the top of my head, my girlfriend and I, when we were still long distance, kind of did an art date over over Discord. We would give each other prompts and then we'd draw it and then show each other what we did. So we did stuff like, what does your dream house look like? If we got a pet, what kind of pet would we get? What would they look like? You know, stuff like that.
So cute.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That I think may have been the last like truly recreational thing. But I've done little small odd jobs for people I know to like make a logo for them or stuff like that. But then the most recent thing I made, I will in the future be redoing the background for the Pilots Club. And kind of making an actual logo instead of the like placeholder stuff that we have. So I've made the background that it's on. It's supposed to look like a topographical map that is constantly moving and shifting.
Cool.
So it looks neat. I really enjoy it.
Nice.
I was gonna render out an hour-long version of that and just like have that in my back pocket, because I was like, I really like this one. Maybe we'll use it for something else down the road. And then I was like, and then I can chop that in half and I can have a half an hour one because our Pilots Club is only like half an hour at the most typically. I started to do the hour long. It was going to take like 9 hours to render. And I was just like, nope, cancel. I'm going to do something else. Let's do a 10-minute one. And who cares if it loops?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
so theoretically, if you had the time and the inclination and the advance notice, could you make like a custom backdrop for one of our episodes if we were doing something special?
Potentially, yes.
Ooh.
But it also is a lot of work. It kind of depends on the idea that we have and what we want to do with it.
All I want is a pink one for Barbie.
Ooh, I could potentially do a pink one.
Can you do one for our Barbenheimer episode?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Ideating in my head. I need, you know how I have the like all the memes I can pull up, like Batman slapping Robin.
Stop it.
Jordan.
Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help. Like all that stuff. We need one that's an explosion. Just like fire. Like, welcome to Flavortown. Right? We need something like that for Oppenheimer.
I am so excited for the movie Oppenheimer to come out, and then people edit the various nuclear explosions in that movie with "Welcome to Flavortown."
It's like it's us showing our reactor core for Barbie. Everything is pink. It's glittery. It's sparkly. It looks like MySpace, right? And then it's like, well, and join us next week, and I hit the button, an explosion, everything is like burnt and black and all that stuff, and right, it's like, we'll be back next week for Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. You say it like it's a metal band. You have to say it so dry and clinical. You have to say it in a sans serif voice,
in NPR voice.
Exactly, yes.
For Oppenheimer.
That's a sans serif voice.
Good stuff. Yeah. Man, Barbie is coming up soon. It's happening real fast.
She is.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Every day things are getting closer. 2 weeks.
Indeed. Yeah. Indeed.
Do you have your outfit?
My outfit.
Do you?
I don't
I'm
have
serious.
a specific outfit. No.
Well, you have 2 weeks to get one.
Maybe I'll wear my pink underwear. I have pink MeUndies underwear.
Good start.
Yeah. I don't have ones with explosions on them. Don't have anything like that. But yeah, if pink underwear, maybe I'll wear that.
You got to start somewhere. You know, wear it on the outside like Quail Man.
Right, yeah.
I already own a kind of vintage looking pink dress, and I kind of want to go see if I can just get a very stiff formal blazer to wear over it to represent the Oppenheimer part of the equation. But it's July. So I have to find something that's lightweight enough. That's the struggle. That's why I don't have it yet.
You need to find like a lab coat at a thrift store. Like just like an all white lab coat.
Are people thrifting those?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe.
Besides, like, one year for Halloween, my brother Jams dressed up as Beaker, the Muppet.
Sure.
You know, Beaker wears Meep wears a little lab coat. So we needed a lab coat, and we couldn't find one. So we had to buy a like novelty like doctor costume from the costume store. And the only ones they had were
sexy doctors.
What they had was lab coats with pun names like already written on like a badge. So we had my mom was so mad that she had to buy this. It's like a joke gynecologist costume for Dr. Howie Feltersnatch. Dr.
Phil McCracken.
So mom got it, then immediately like taped over the thing. She was so upset.
Great. That's the stuff that my dad would do whenever he had to go to work conferences with his coworkers and stuff. They would give each other like fake names at the like get your name tag thing here. So it'd be like, is paraphernalia here? Paraphernalia. Dumb stuff like that. Like, oh, yep, that's me. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Good Lord. Oh, man. Well, all sorts of stuff happened. It was 4th of July weekend.
It was.
This past week. I guess or earlier this week, not this past week, but I guess this will be coming out on the weekend. So
3 days ago.
kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any 4th of July plans?
I did. I went to go see the new Indiana Jones movie because every theater around me does discount days on Tuesdays, but that's when I host trivia, so I can never go. But there was no trivia on 4th of July. I'm like, now's my chance to save $5.
There
so
you go.
I purposefully scheduled it. Like I thought I was so smart. I bought movie tickets for like 6 o'clock and I went to the specific theater. I'm like, that movie is going to let out right before 9. I'm going to walk out in the parking lot, get in my car. I can watch the local fireworks from the big community center down the road from my car. I don't have to fight for parking because I've been here since 5:30. I'm a genius. Give me my lab coat. Of course, once I'm actually there, I realize the elevation is wrong and I can't see them that well. So we still had to just drive into a nearby, like, abandoned office park. Not abandoned, it's just, the businesses are active, just not on 4th of July. It's empty.
Not the one that Fast and the Furious was taking place in that you thought you saw something there. Yeah, no. Okay.
I ended up going with my mom, whose review of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny that was an Indiana Jones movie.
Wow. Huge, if true.
Box checked. Sufficient for Mel and Mom.
My mom's review was, we enjoyed it.
Good. I'm happy for them.
They went to go see it. Yeah.
I buy the tickets and I go into the theater and I point to where Mom's seat is supposed to be. And then after the movie, when the credits are rolling, as I'm turning around to ask her how she enjoyed it, she says, "Why did I have to sit here?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "There's a free seat on the other side of you and there's nobody next to that seat. Why'd you tell me to sit here?" I'm like, "'Cause these are the ones I bought. You buy specific seats now, Mom." She was sitting next to a little boy. She's like, I felt weird sitting next to the little boy when there were empty seats on the other side of you. And I'm like, I thought the boy would like to sit next to a nice grandma more than he wanted to sit next to me. I thought I made the right decision of which one of us sits next to the boy. When I bought these tickets, there was nothing on the other side. I thought we would be alone. There wouldn't be some 8-year-old boy and his dad. I'm sorry they showed up.
Right. It's not like the gentleman traffic rules that you're supposed to stand on the side of traffic to block her from all that. Right. It's not that stuff. You just kind of have to pick, right?
I didn't know what you meant by gentleman traffic rules. I thought these were how you stand at a urinal or something.
There is a rule about that too.
Exactly. Mom, I
continue.
No, I was
Please.
I guess if we got 10 minutes in the movie and still nobody was there, she could have come and sat on the other side of me where she would have had another empty seat next to her.
Yeah.
Then I also thought, if you are this little boy who just has some nice old lady sit next to you, then how do you feel when the nice old lady moves?
Right.
Are you did I upset
kid,
her?
Man.
So I don't know what the answer was, and I didn't know there was a problem. I think my mom just doesn't know how the tickets work and why I just pointed and was like, "You sit here."
That's funny. I was just about to say something and change the subject, and I didn't want to interrupt you. But now I forget what it was I was gonna say. So that's lame. That's stupid. Great podcast, Kyle. Great job.
Let's talk about fireworks because I wanted to ask you.
I think where we were going here.
Do you have a favorite fireworks shape?
I don't know if I can really name the shapes besides
I linked
circle.
a guide. A nice infographic to different names of firework shapes.
So yes, you put this link in. This link is very blurry. I cannot read a single thing on here, but it is.
Oh, it looks fine for
it's a
me.
good
That's weird.
guide.
Well, just Google
See if I can-
fireworks shapes. You can do it too.
Oh, they have a whole fireworks types and definitions on
Yes.
jakesfireworks.com.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, let me see here. I'm just gonna go fireworks shapes is what you did.
Yes. Just pick
Images. one. See, I'm seeing all sorts of like weird, crazy stuff.
Look for one that is like a serious educational infographic and not just like
here you go.
firework clip art.
A weed leaf.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. There's like some. I think those are vectors. Those aren't real fireworks.
I will read them to you.
Oh, here's the one that you have.
You found it?
Okay,
From Jake?
so I think
Jake himself?
Yes, it's the same one, but the link that you had put in there just takes that picture and blows it up to the size of the screen. So it's only like 696 pixels wide, so it's not that big of an image. So if I zoomed in, it wouldn't look all that great. But here we go. I can read this one because it's smaller. Okay, favorite fireworks shape. I don't know. I do kind of like these. What is this? The brocade crown. The brocade.
Yeah.
I'm like, brocade, bro. I do like the ones that do kind of cascade down, or like the willow tree or the waterfall.
Willow's my favorite. Yeah.
I do like these like king ones here that look like planets. Ring. See, it's so small. It's hard to
Okay.
See. Not king. Ring.
Ring. I like these king
I like
ones.
those ones a lot. I don't know. Like to me, it's all just kind of foreplay until you get the finale. And to me, it's about the finale and the mix of them all at the same time.
Right. They play well together.
Yeah. You need good colors too.
Absolutely. I had good colors this year. We had a lot of mixed colors, like ones that would change. Like a big, what was it? I would say, based off of this one, perhaps a peony shape.
Sure.
Or a snowflake. No, it was a snowflake. Snowflake ones that would turn like blue, and then they would like ombre just like dissolve into green and then into gold. They were really cool. They're doing neat stuff with fireworks. Such vibrant colors. Lots of pink this year.
Yeah.
I've just been thinking about how people love fireworks in general. I think even people who don't like them personally don't disagree with them as a concept. Like, I hate loud noises, but I'm not going to tell my city, do not do big fireworks show for 4th of July. Like, people look forward to them. Big deal about fireworks. Like 48 hours, if that, after you've seen them, they just mush into one unit of fireworks, and you don't remember anything specific that you saw. You don't remember details like they hit us with a red chrysanthemum, then went into a blue dahlia. It was incredible.
It's like me when I went to the monster truck rally, the monster jam, and like they had names for all these moves that they were doing. I was like, what is this? Right? And it's like, they went from a double fish to a peony ring, and it was spectacular, man.
That's what I want to learn about, like the craft, not necessarily the craft of somebody who's like in the fireworks industry, like makes them or sells them themselves. But are there fireworks critics out there who like review the different shows? Like, I want to learn to talk about fireworks the way I talk about film.
Are there fireworks critics? How do I spell? I cannot spell. That's critiques. Fireworks. Fireworks on Rotten Tomatoes is a very entertaining anime. 2 stars. I'm seeing reviews for the movie Fireworks.
I found a Reader's Digest article because I want to find what is the best fireworks show anywhere, or at least anywhere I could feasibly get to in my lifetime. I'm not going to Dubai, probably. Like,
Right.
where do the best of the best go to set off fireworks? I want to see what that is. I want to go to the fireworks championship. But Reader's Digest has a list of the best fireworks shows in each state. And of course, the Missouri one's just like Fair St. Louis. It's just the St. Louis, like, big 4th of July festival. Like, I could have learned that. The one in Oklahoma, it says, is Tulsa's annual Freedom Fest.
Sure.
Where you can enjoy kid-friendly activities, food trucks, live performances, and the Red Bull skydiving team.
There you go.
Kyle, please go and report back on the Red Bull skydiving team next year.
Will do. I found something from the Travel Channel. Best U.S. fireworks displays.
I'm seeing this too, yes.
I don't know how recent this is, though, so I don't know if this is...
Oh, you gotta date these.
A thing from this year or not, but yeah, they have stuff like the Macy's 4th of July fireworks. They don't say where that is. I'm going to assume New York. I don't know why I assume that. Boston Pops fireworks. Wawa, Welcome America. Capitol 4th concert on DC's National Mall. I think I've been to that one when I was younger.
See, these things are... I'm also looking at this Travel Channel article, and it's
Freedom
like...
over Texas.
It's talking about places where you can go and see these, but it's mostly talking about like the setting of where you are, or like it's part of a festival that has great bands that play, and like you're on a beach or whatever. It's not talking about what is the craft and the design behind the literal fireworks themselves. Who has the brightest greens? What city do I go to for the most gold?
Yeah, absolutely. You need a fireworks expert.
Absolutely. Put this on the list after our soda sommelier we need to find. This one does say that Nashville features the region's largest fireworks show. Doesn't specify how big region is. It is a 27-minute spectacle choreographed to a live performance by the Grammy-winning Nashville Symphony. See? That's
fun.
An addition.
That's cool.
That tells me something about what I'm going to see when it comes to the actual fireworks. 27 minutes is a while.
Yeah.
Man, how does that change? What is the narrative evolution of a 27-minute fireworks show?
No. I'm not sure, but yeah, that'd be interesting to find out.
I want to learn.
There has to be something on YouTube or even on like the History Channel. I'm sure they had some special.
Like some of the history of it and like how they're made, but not as much about the art of the firework. And like, if you want to be an informed audience member watching a fireworks show, it's a difference between saying, yeah, this wine is good, and saying like real drops of God stuff, like doing the spin and the sniff, and you tilt the glass and you like look at the legs and you see what color it is. And you're like notes of moss. I want to do that for fireworks.
Good stuff. With that, I say we take a quick break. And when we come back, I can talk about some of the movies that I've been watching and comics I've been reading, all that good stuff. We got some pop culture news. Jennifer Garner coming back to play Electra. We'll get into all of that in just a sec. But yeah, we'll be right back. Here at the Whatnauts, we make multiple different shows, and a lot of hard work goes into making them, so we would love it if you check them all out. If you enjoy our shows, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is the best place to show your support. For just $1 a month, you can get early access to episodes, and at our $3 tier, a Patreon exclusive podcast, The Pilots Club. You can even get a shout out and thank you on most of our shows at the $5 tier. And if you're one of our patrons already, thank you so much. It means the world to us. You can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in the Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. You can also find us on YouTube and Twitch for video versions of the shows, trailer reactions, and live streams. And lastly, we have merch. If you want to grab yourself a shirt or a hoodie or a mug or something else, head over to thewhatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today. All right, we are back. Once again, a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. We love you a lot. Thank you much. Over on the Pilots Club, which is at our $3 tier on Patreon, we got to talk about a Netflix original called Cable Girls. It is a Spanish soap opera show. I hesitate to say soap opera, but it was very soapy in what we saw, at least in that pilot there. But it was an interesting show. 1920s, a bunch of women take a job at a telecommunications company, working all the switchboards and stuff, and they all have their own reasons for being there. And from what I found out, that show helped launch Netflix Spain. So good stuff. Got to talk about that one. That was a lot of fun. Right here on the Captain's Log this past week, we did our annual trivia night. And man, that one is always one of my favorites. It's so much fun. We have a blast. Ignacio was here on the podcast. He has weird opinions on pancakes and popcorn, but that's okay.
He always shows up so rigid about an international food difference and will broker no response from us.
It's great. Ignacio's fantastic. But yeah, we had a blast with that. So go check that out if you have not already. And then over on the review show, we were just talking about 4th of July. So we got to talk about our own national treasure, Nicolas Cage. We have dubbed July 4th week on the review show, basically Nicolas Cage week there.
Yes.
So we watched Adaptation, in which Nicolas Cage plays the real life screenwriter and director Charlie Kaufman, as well as his fictional twin brother Donald. And it is the most Nicolas Cage in per capita. Is that the right word?
Don't know. I have somehow not seen The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, but I saw a clip from that where he is talking to himself. Yeah. But I saw there was at least one scene where there is two cages. There's cage on cage. I think they kiss. But this does have, throughout the entirety of the film, two cages for the price of one.
Indeed. It was a blast. I liked that one a lot. Over on the Reactor Core, we have reactions and spoiler cast to Asteroid City and The Flash. We've also been talking about Secret Invasion. Just a quick note on that. We were going to record spoiler cast on episode 3 of Secret Invasion. We decided to postpone that and do 3 and 4 in one episode, and we're probably gonna do episode 5 and 6 in one episode together as well. But yeah, just a heads up on that. I guess the last little bit of housekeeping that I should mention, or I guess the last 2 things I should mention here, is that we're streaming on YouTube now. that's it. I'm officially moving us over to YouTube. No more on Twitch. Maybe every once in a while down the road for something, who knows, but our main live streaming platform will now be YouTube. So if you're enjoying this podcast and you want to come watch us live, at least for the remainder of the summer, we are typically recording on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Last but not least, Melissa, you're not much of a social media person, so do you know anything about Threads?
I think I've seen that word. Yeah.
I mean, I'm certain you've seen the word.
I mean, I was aware of it as a concept, but I think I did see somebody I follow on YouTube on the community page, which frankly, that is the most social media I get, is going to my YouTube subscriptions page and seeing what channels have posted a community update.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. That's sincerely the best way to reach me.
Yeah. So yeah, Twitter is that, if you guys have seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, it's that scene where the ship is just coming into dock and sinking and sinking and sinking. Twitter seems to just constantly be on the downhill. And so people have been trying to jump ship to other alternatives, and not many of them have really worked. I know I've mentioned Co-host, I've mentioned Hive, and I have accounts on that. The Whatnauts have accounts on them, but they never really stuck. Well, Meta just launched their Twitter competitor called Threads on the 6th. Or I think they did it a day early on the 5th. Is that right? I'm not sure. Who cares? But for better or for worse, I think that one's gonna stick. I think that one's gonna be around to stay. Because I remember in the initial success of like Hive, they were like, hey, we got 1 million subscribers. And that was like in their first like month. Threads ended up having like 12 million signups in the first like 10 hours.
Oh.
And so it's already past like 70 million subscribers or signups. So I think this one is here to stay, for better or for worse. So I have made an account on that. I've made the Whatnauts an account on that. If you'd like to follow us there, we are at the Whatnauts Official. Because
what are we going to do when that 70s funk band comes after us?
Well, so here's the thing. Technically, the Whatnauts already... So, all right. Let me back up even further here. To sign up for Threads, you have to have an Instagram account. And I think this is one of the things that has kind of launched it forward past other alternatives to Twitter, is that... you sign in with your Instagram stuff, and it gives you the option to basically import your profile picture, your bio, everyone you follow, like all of that stuff. So you don't have to start from scratch unless you want to. And so there's a lot of people there who already kind of have a built-in community and following on that. And as advertisers are leaving Twitter, I think Facebook, since they're meta, since they had this in the works, I think was letting their advertisers know in advance. Because that was also the thing with something like Hive. It's like I saw a lot of people that I knew signing up, but none of the news sites, none of the brands, like none of them were really hopping on. But with Threads, they were basically there right away. And so it felt like, okay, I can still get the news from some of this stuff here. I don't have to go on Twitter. But all that goes to say the Whatnauts technically already had an Instagram account. Paul made that way back in the day. He used his email. He used his own password. and when he left, I didn't get access to all of that stuff, so I don't have access to at the Whatnauts on that. It's already taken, and so I had to make a new one, and so that's why we are the Whatnauts official on Threads, and technically on Instagram, though I don't imagine me using that one. I'll be honest, I don't like Facebook and I don't like Instagram. I don't like Meta, but I think Threads is here to stay. So we'll see. But that's all the housekeeping stuff that I wanted to say and mention. So we will probably, at least for the time being, be posting some updates on Threads in the near future. But there you go. That good stuff. Melissa, I want to talk about Nimona.
Go.
Nimona is probably going to be in my top 5 movies of the year. This was incredible. So for those of you who don't know, Nimona is a movie that Netflix just released. It's based off of a graphic novel of the same name by, I believe they are going by N.D. Stevenson now.
Yes.
And they, man, I remember Nimona from the Tumblr era when they were like posting sketches on Tumblr, like, I have an idea for this new thing. And then they made like short web comics and then made a graphic novel. And for a while, the comic book podcast that I listened to just raved about it. They loved it. And it was a couple years later that I finally bought it as a gift for my mom. Because from all the stuff that I heard was like, I think she would like this book. I think she read through it and really enjoyed it. But one time when I went out to visit her, I read the book. Incredible. It is phenomenal. I've loved it. And Netflix has been turning it into an animated movie starring Chloe Grace Moretz and Riz Ahmed, I believe. And yeah, it came out like on the 30th, like last day of June. Yeah, it was so good. It was awesome. Cannot recommend this enough. It is stellar. It made me and my partner cry. It is, oh God, but it's just, it's so funny. It is like we were busting out laughing and crying at the same time. It was great. They have something special with that one there.
Nice.
And as someone who also read the comic, it is a very good adaptation of that too. It's not just like, well, I guess it has the same name or like the same kind of story. It's like, no, this is it. This is fantastic.
Nice.
So please go watch it. I cannot recommend it enough. So
yeah, I do remember, I think in my first job out of college, that was one of the things that got me out of bed, was like twice a week I knew I could read a new Nimona page.
Yes.
But it was a web comic. I've got the graphic novel on my shelf back there somewhere.
Nice.
I have very fond memories of it. I do intend to watch this movie. I'm just having a busy month for watching and rewatching things, so I don't know exactly when I'll get to it.
Oh yeah, we're right in summer blockbuster season.
Right. I've rewatched most of the Mission Impossible movies. I'm working my way through Good Omens again, some Venture Brothers again. I might save Nimona as like a thing to look forward to in August when things will suddenly seem drier by comparison.
Sure. Yeah. Understandable. The Bear season 2 is out. Have not started it yet. Yeah. But I went back and I watched season 1 for real this time. So technically my partner was watching it and I was like reading comics on the couch while she was watching it. And so I really only saw the last 3 episodes of the show, and she kept falling asleep on it. So she watched it like twice and fell asleep on it twice, which is not because it's a boring show. Quite the opposite. But even in those like 3 episodes, I was like, holy shit, this is good. And like had like, like writing comics on my phone and catching stuff, and then like slowly like paying more attention to the show than my comics and stuff. So I finally went back and I watched the entirety of season 1, and yeah, man, that show is so good. So cannot wait to get into season 2 of that, which everyone says is just as good, if not better. So
this, people have asked me, this is on among the top shows people ask me if I have seen, and I have to tell them, no, I do a very distracting podcast. Somebody at a
maybe
party
we'll get to it in like the 400th episode ish, somewhere around there. Who knows?
This weekend I was at a party and somebody was like, have you seen Ted Lasso? I'm like, no, but I had to watch Krull. Have you seen Krull?
You could have been like, no, but I've seen After Party season 1. They just had their second season out.
We see some of the things, but I feel like we always see the second Rand thing. Like, I've never seen Mad Men, and I've never met a single other person besides us who has watched *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Yeah, well, I've now seen people online mention it, and they're always just like, man, great show. What an amazing show.
Good.
So good.
Man, right. There's so many major TV series the last handful of years that I have not seen a second of. I've realized I'm good at movies, bad at TV. You have to make a space for me in my life. I can't do it alone. You have to help to make sure I have room to watch Barry or something.
All right, Melissa, here's your homework. On the review show, we're covering this.
We're watching an actual popular conversation topic that men on a dating app will want to talk to you about. Guess what men on dating apps haven't seen? Servant.
Krull. Good stuff. And then I kind of mentioned this on the review show last week, but I've also been catching up on comics, and I have to give another shout out to Radiant Black. I am now obsessed with this book. It was incredible. It was great. It is a superhero comic published by Image Comics that is the launch of a shared superhero universe. But not the like Image Comics superhero universe. It's just a number of creators that have gotten together to all start books that take place in the same universe. And they have their own characters and stuff like that. But volume 1 was incredible. It hooks you in. It gives you enough time to like get to know the characters and want to like stick with them and know more about them. It's not just all big bombastic superhero stuff where it's like, okay, he punched the guy and then he punched him harder in the end. But it also
harder with more friendship.
Yes, yeah. But like it also does have that stuff, and there's some really interesting like mystery that's happening here. It's really, really good. And what I thought was interesting is like it's not the like Peter Parker talks to himself, and so you have the captions and like what he's thinking and all that stuff. It's not the like noir Batman narration over. So there I was in Crime Alley where my parents died and I got sad. Like it's not that stuff. He is a writer. He's a novelist, and he's trying to write a novel based on a short story that he had written and published in the past. And it's about a woman whose partner gets into robbing banks and then like gets her involved. And on one of the ones that they do together, he gets shot and dies, but she escapes. And so now she gets to like basically start over with her life with all of this money and just be whoever she wants to be. And she's struggling with that and what to do. And at the same time, he's struggling with that and what to do. And like, where does this character that I'm writing go, and where do I as a person go, and me also just getting these new superpowers or this superpowered suit that can help him do all of this stuff. He's found this new identity, this chance to start over. And so the book is kind of mirroring his life in a weird way, but also he's like working through stuff. So maybe what he writes is then influencing how he treats his new identity as a superhero. So I thought that was fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough. It's really, really good.
Nice.
So yeah, that's all the big old stuff that I had.
Big old stuff.
Big
Bears
old
are big.
stuff. Bears are big. But where did that come from?
Where do they go?
The tank. Hank the Tank, where did you go?
Right, is there any update? We need to do a Captain's Log update episode where we look back on how is Hank the Tank? How many bears was he?
The Captain's Log. Where are they now?
We read the sales numbers for last year's novelty Mountain Dew flavors.
Exactly. Great stuff. Speaking of where are they now, Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
But back in Deadpool 3 as Electra, reprising her role. I know there's been a few other rumors and casting and announcements of like, oh, maybe this person will be in Deadpool 3 and stuff. But this one stuck out to me. Melissa, how do you feel about...
This one is a fact?
Yes, this one is a fact.
Okay.
She is back. How do you feel about Electra? Jennifer Garner, Electra.
This is fascinating because that's such a serious character. I kind of appreciate that if she signed up to do this again, Jennifer Garner must have some sense of humor about it. That's nice. Maybe she just wants to show off that she's still in great Electra shape after 20 years. Good on her. I just watched Daredevil again for the first time since I saw it when it first came out.
Good.
My roommate and I, we'd taken some THC gummies. We were going to settle in for a movie night. She's like, I want something like kind of with like twists, you know? And I wound up just scanning through like the HBO Max like crime section. I'm like, crime could be serious, crime could be fun. Let's see what crime entails that might give you what you're looking for tonight. We landed on Daredevil. And she's like, there was another Daredevil movie? I'm like, okay, we are watching this. It's so fun. It's such a funny time, Daredevil.
Superhero movies in that era were wild. You never knew what exactly you were going to get.
Right. It's so self-serious. It's from early enough to where the storytelling didn't have to be subtle yet. Like everything is so blunt, everything is so hammered home. Like little Matt Murdock, like he's taking a shortcut home from school, and then he sees his dad. My dad really does work as a crime enforcer. Oh no! And he turns and he cries and he runs away and he drops his report card with all straight A's. It's like melodramatic moves like that.
Now
I laughed so hard.
Or D's for Daredevil.
Now he's gonna get red glasses because he can't see anymore. I laughed so much watching Daredevil. It's downright quaint to see.
Good.
In comparison. There's a lot of comic writer shout outs. And like I said, they're not subtle. It's not like if you squint on like a plaque in the background, it says Ditko on it or something.
We're on Frank Miller Street.
Right. It's like, Matt, how are you doing with the Quesada case? You know, it's like, and his dad's like, oh, I got a boxing match with Romita tonight. Like 5 different times I stopped the movie to tell my roommate, oh, that's a comics writer. Like
Kevin
they put their
Smith
names out.
He's in
it. You see him.
Yeah.
It really wears that on its sleeve because people hadn't learned yet to pick up the sleeve and look at the arm underneath. It's not like today where you have to decode a license plate and you're like, oh, that's an Easter egg.
It's
The Easter eggs are right there. You don't have to hunt at all. Right.
So what?
Front and center.
What I appreciate about those older movies that just say everything, right? Like you've been mentioning, is that especially the comic book ones, is that was Stan Lee's kind of MO with comics, right? Is just like it doesn't matter what comic it is, it will be someone's first comic. So when Spider-Man shows up, you have to at least have a panel or two to be like, oh yeah, back when I got bit by that radioactive spider, right? And it just shows him, and it's like, oh, okay, that's how he got his powers and became Spider-Man, right? They have to explain everything. And on one hand, I like that philosophy a lot because that helps bring in new people. And it also it worked really well for the like month to month reading of the comics. But in the movies in particular, like comic book movies weren't really a mainstream thing all that much back then. So
right.
It was like, hey, we know some of you know about Daredevil, but not all of you. So here we go. Buckle up. We'll tell you everything, right?
Right. Full origin story.
Yeah.
We all love.
I do like the more subtle stuff when they're also just like, we know you know how movies work and how narrative works.
Yes.
And we know you can connect the dots on things. So we'll be a little more subtle too. I appreciate that too.
I will say, when I saw Daredevil in like 2003, 2004, that was the first time I'd ever seen Colin Farrell.
Sure,
and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know about the quality of this movie as a whole, but I can tell that is a good actor. Right. He does stand out. He
stands out. He's also like way over the top in that movie in a way that like
so big.
Like I could see people being like, oh, his performance is not good at all. He's doing this, but I can also see like exactly what you said of like, there's something about him. Like this
he makes a choice.
Yeah,
he commits. He's so dynamic.
He's doing it.
When he gets injured or something, he's covered in bandages or whatever, and all you can see are his eyes. I'm like, Colin Farrell has some of the best eyes in the business. Like it was really lovely to go back and watch the first thing I ever saw him in when he was like nominated for an Oscar this year. I'm so happy we still have Colin Farrell. And I know we all love Vincent D'Onofrio, but Michael Clark Duncan is the Kingpin.
He was
also
awesome
such a presence.
Love it.
Man. Oh,
one of their best
too
choices.
Soon. Yes.
That was one of the things I loved about all those like pre-Marvel Studios Marvel movies is more often than not they nailed the casting for the villains in particular. They had just like great choices in the Spider-Man movies, in the Daredevil movie. Great stuff. Great stuff.
But yeah, I am intrigued by the tonal mix of having Electra. I've not seen Electra, her own motion picture. I know people. Well, that's exactly what everybody does. Everybody makes a grimace face. There are so many movies that I just know people don't like, and I'm realizing I don't know a single specific thing about them. What exactly do people not like about Electra? I'm not questioning that people don't like it. I'm just annoyed that people just keep making grimace faces and not actually giving me any qualifying statements.
Have you seen the Halle Berry Catwoman movie?
I've had it described to me.
I see. That's the thing. I think those are both very, very bad movies. Melissa, I think you would have a great time.
Good.
I think you'd have
my
a blast.
roommate. We'll get some gummies. This is our new plan. These are our Friday
get some
nights.
Alcohol, something. The Catwoman one is such a departure from that character that it's wild. And yeah, I think from what I remember, the Electra one, it was just really boring. And I think Jennifer Garner had her like rise to stardom through Alias, the TV show. And then she kind of did some like rom-com stuff. And I think that's what she was known for.
She was 13 and then she was 30, quite notably.
Sure, yeah. I don't think she was quite the action star that everyone was hoping she might be. And so, yeah, I think Electra just kind of fell flat. I'm just like, oh, okay, that was a movie. Just like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was an Indiana Jones, according to Melissa's mom.
It was. Right? He wore the hat. We all saw it.
Exactly. But yeah, I think you would enjoy him a lot.
I am happy to know she will be back. I think that's fascinating. And this was my favorite thing about Multiverse of Madness is when they pull out Black Bolt of all people. Yeah. I love when a movie goes for a not fan service cameo. They're like, we're going for somebody but this character has been on nobody's wish list. We're veering that far left.
We know you guys liked the Electra in the Netflix show, but do you all remember?
I like a sharp turn like that. I think that gives me a good sense of who else could show up in this thing.
God, I would love to see a Human Torch Chris Evans cameo or Michael Chiklis, like something from Fantastic Four. I think would be great. I would love to like even get like if they are pulling on a multiversal story like it seems like it is kind of doing. Well, that's the thing is like I don't know, are they're already mixing Fox and Sony, so they might do all sorts of stuff. Can they get like a voice actor who played one of the characters to join Deadpool's team, like as the actor themselves, to like how they had that one dude who like didn't have any powers, right? I like that they are making a multiversal team, or at least there will be cameos of
want Ryan Reynolds Deadpool to fight Ryan Reynolds from Blade Trinity.
To fight Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. Just have him show up in the the knockoff not Green Lantern Green Lantern.
It's me.
the Emerald Lamp.
It's me, the chartreuse bulb.
Yeah. Something like that would be good. Speaking of DC Comics, though, we also got Superman and Lois cast.
Yes.
We're a little bit late on this news since we've been doing so many games and stuff like that here on the Captain's Log in past weeks. David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan. I hope I said their names right.
I think I've heard it with a hard A. I think I've heard Brosnahan, but
okay, that might be right. Relatively unknown. I'm not super familiar with either of these actors, though I know Rachel is in Marvelous Miss Maisel, I believe. She's the
another
star of
one of the major shows from the last handful of years I wasn't watching.
And people think she is great in that. She is snarky, she's smart, she's witty, and that to me sounds like Lois Lane. And get the job. That sounds
nice. I want to say I always really liked the Amy Adams Lois Lane, but she was in a very specific tone that those movies were in. And this sounds like a great Lois to fulfill other tones that now we get to see the character live in.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that we're getting a younger Superman too. I mean, not that Henry Cavill was old. He wasn't. But I think because he's not as much of a household name, it'll be interesting to see him grow into that role. So I'm excited. I don't really have much else to say except, hey, sweet.
Nice.
We got it. We got him cast.
One of the movies I have seen that I've been pushing you to see is a horror movie called X. And the movie X has a prequel movie that came out afterwards called Pearl. And David Corenswet
He's
is
in that
one
one?
of the major characters in that. Yes. So
I did
now would
hear
be the
that, yeah.
perfect time to watch X and Pearl.
Yes, it would. It would. Indeed. Melissa, you have
Yes.
a trailer, a movie trailer, or is this a TV show?
This is a movie trailer. We don't have to like do a full reaction. I just saw this in like literally the 3 minutes before I sat down to record, and I wanted to show it to you. This is a trailer YouTube recommended to me called Corner Office.
I've never
This
heard
movie
of this.
stars St. Louis's own Jon Hamm, which is why I clicked on it. Like he's
We
my
know
hometown
you
boy.
love
I
a
got to
good
see what
story
he's up
about
to.
an office.
I know, right?
They
This
have you
thing
nailed.
looks very Severance. Jon Hamm plays
Interesting.
this guy who like takes his
I'm gonna play it in
vague
the
office
background.
job very seriously. He shows up at this new office and he finds a corner office. Finds this
Ooh.
magical space where he goes in there and he's like, I feel smarter. I feel more powerful. When I go in there, I can really get my work done. I can do anything. And there's some sort of mystery where he reveals this to somebody else and they're like, there is no corner office.
Oh, hey, it's Danny Pudi.
Yes.
I love him. He's great.
Nice to see him too. Yeah, down to the sinister office setting, the sort of throwback vintage professional wardrobe. Even the fact that it's set during the winter.
Yeah. It
feels very Severance.
claustrophobic.
Yes. But this is directly up my alley. Thank you, YouTube, for putting this in front of my face. It said it comes out in August, but it didn't specify how in what form.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch this trailer like for real after we're done. But this looks good. I'm getting the right vibes just from like the way everything is styled, the music. I like this idea of like not a liminal space, but like a mysterious, like, is it real or not space.
Yeah. I love that. That's the sort of thing you
Oh,
get
that was a
in
great
like
shot.
it's like Harry Potter and the Room of Requirement. I love the idea of an adult story talking about a space that may or may not exist because it feels like
Right.
such a young adult thing to play with.
I did try to warn you.
They had a shot earlier in the trailer of this building that he works in, and it's this tall skyscraper, but because it's the like snowy, like misty, foggy look, the building just rises into the mist and you can't see it end. That looked good. Awesome. That looked fantastic.
Number in a column on a spreadsheet.
Yeah, this looks good.
Something ominous looming, or I could choose to see the light. I chose to see the light.
That was all. Just wanted to make sure you were also aware of this.
Yeah. August 4th. Interesting.
That's soon. Oh my God, that's less than a month. That's very close.
What is that? Nicolas Cage is the devil. I don't know.
Like in
what that
general?
was. Yeah, it was at the end of that trailer. It had like one of their other like movies, or click on this video was Nicolas Cage is the devil.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm
Anyways.
clicking on it. I'll find out. Report back. Oh, Sympathy for the Devil comes out
okay.
this year. Says it is an action movie. Okay.
I gotcha. Anyways, well, yeah, I think that kind of about wraps us up for this week's podcast, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, let's do all the social media stuff. Melissa, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WilkyWit. That's WilkyWit. I'm not a social media person. I haven't looked at either of those apps in a long time, but you can follow me. You want to send me a message, I get the notifications. So I just keep saying this until I have another plan. And listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities.
Sounds good. You guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter and on Threads. And if you guys would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter and at the Whatnauts official on Threads. So go give us a follow. If you are watching this on YouTube, we got plenty more videos right over there on that side of the screen. That would help us out a ton. So please go like, share, and subscribe. You guys know the deal with all of that good stuff. But this has been number 243 of the Captain's Log. We will see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.